Hey, cuz, what's up? Hey, give me a call as soon as possible. I need to talk to you. All right? Peace.
So that's my cousin. And we haven't spoken, and when he left that message, 2 years, 3 years.
Marissa, this is your cousin Eugene. Trying to reach you. Honey, I've gone through so much that you wouldn't understand, but I'd be glad to tell you something. No, I don't even think I want to talk about it, but I'm going through so much now until I just didn't know whether I could take it anymore now. I really didn't. But listen, it's not because that I don't care. It's not because I don't love you. It's because my cup is running over. I don't have it takes time. But listen, if you feel like it, you give me a call. But just know that things are nothing in my life like what they used to be. Okay, baby. You tell everyone I said hello. And it's not because I don't love you. Okay, if you feel like calling me, do so. Okay, bye-bye.
So what I just played for you is an example of stonewalling. Most people know that word from TikTok therapy, about toxic relationships, but it lives in families too. So I'm here to talk about the family dynamic of stonewalling and how that lives in families. It's lived in mine. Could it be living in yours? And we'll talk about what to do, how to fix that. But first, giving glory and honor to God for restoring my voice in more ways than one. So, what is stonewalling? Stonewalling is attached to a metaphor by Dr. John Gottman, essentially called the four horsemen of the apocalypse, right? So, what it describes are four negative communication patterns that, according to his research, can predict with over 90% accuracy the end of a relationship. So how it shows up differently in families versus romantic relationships is the no breakup option, right? You're stuck at the Thanksgiving dinner table with your family. Relationships, romantic relationships, there's the option to break up. And the person that's left in the dark usually carries the heaviest weight, right? It's the self-blame, it's the confusion. Why did they stop talking to me, right? What did I say? What did I do? And so with my cousin Eugene, right, she has since passed since that voicemail message, but she actually chose to keep herself, secluded. And she was going through a divorce. And at the time, she and her husband had been married 30 something years. And sadly, right, when you stonewall, you isolate. You isolate yourself, which is what she did. And sadly, she passed away by herself. So that voicemail message that you heard was her reaching back out to me after me making several attempts to call her and to contact her and to touch base with her and to check in on her, right? And I got that message shortly before she passed. So.
Hey, cuz, what's up? Hey, give me a call as soon as possible. I need to talk to you. All right? Peace.
So that message that you just heard was my cousin, my mother's nephew, calling because my aunt, my mother's only sister, had just passed away. And my mom and sister hadn't spoken in several years. So that message was me finding out. I called him back, and that message was me finding out that my aunt had passed away. She was like a second mother to me. She had passed away by herself. She had stonewalled my mom, and in return, stonewalled myself and my sister. So she became a recluse and sadly cut us off from speaking to her, particularly my mom. Here are 3 specific things that you can do to actually help manage the stonewaller and or the relationship while it's happening in real time and even beyond. So here are 3 things that you can do specifically to actually help manage that stonewaller and the stonewalling relationship effectively, according to Dr. John Gottman. I'm going to be looking down because I actually pulled a summary of the 3, but he does have several books that are out. Here are the 3. The first is Stop the Discussion and Call for a Timeout. So you recognize that once a partner has shut down, any further attempts to talk will only escalate the conflict. So pause, timeout. The second, separate for at least 20 minutes. Physiological research shows that it takes a minimum of 20 minutes for the body to metabolize stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, and for the heart rate to really return to normal. So during this time, being physically separated is key, is important, according to Dr. John Gottman. And the third is engage in physiological self-soothing. What does that mean? That means while you're on the break, do not ruminate on the argument. Take a break, go for a walk, listen to music, paint, do something for at least a minimum of 20 minutes of something that you enjoy doing. So the gold rule, according to Dr. John Gottman, the gold rule of a timeout, whether you are in person, if your family is, if they're around, you're at their house or they're at your place, or you're on the phone, the golden rule is the person who calls for the break is the person responsible for checking back in to resume the conversation. What am I saying? I am saying that stonewalling is isolation. You are cutting off your family member or family members. You are, and in my case, right, with my family members, both of them, my aunt and my cousin, both died by themselves, died alone, right? They stonewalled themselves into isolation. And that's a very lonely, that's a hard place to be. And as someone that loved them dearly, I think about that and how lonely and sad that is. So if you or if you're the stonewaller, if your family member is the stonewaller, consider fixing it the best way you can. I would highly recommend doing your research so that you can potentially be the reason that stonewaller, right, speaks again, talks again, connects again. So that is my hope, and that is what I did. That's why I did this video, right? Because I have been there. I have been on the opposite end of the stonewaller, and I probably, back in the day, I probably was a stonewaller myself, right? But it's a very lonely, isolated place to be. And my hope is that you come out of that. All right. Until next time, bye for now.